Hello Capricorn, thank you very much for tuning into your general read. For the main read, I'm using the Modern Spellcaster's Tarot by Melanie Marquis with illustration by Scott Murphy. And for the supportive oracle cards, the Magical Unicorn cards by Doreen Virtue, PhD. Same person, Doreen Virtue. I don't think she puts PhD on her newer decks, but maybe she does. Something seems weird with the environment here. We had some weird... I feel like there's some weird energy here, Capricorn, I have to be honest with you. What are we? Are we in Leo still when you guys are watching this? I think you are. I think we're in Leo still. Now, you do have an overall energy here. Let's see if I can pick it up, because maybe I'm not supposed to show it to you yet. But it's the Five of Wands, which is typically an argument, conflict, issues going on card. But there's some, as it goes through, I'm not seeing like you really having direct conflict. I feel like there's more. I'm thinking it's more inner conflict. And I feel like you might be angry with somebody and holding it back. Because on the other side, you have the family culture card. Like, this is somebody, if it's not a family member, it's somebody that's close to you that you treat like family. So it's a relationship like that you feel is very important, and that the other person should very much respect how you feel, you respect how they feel. It's one of those situations. This card is face up on the other side. The other two are face down, which means when I have face down cards in readings, typically they mean that you don't realize what's going on, or it's a secret, one of the two. So what I feel like is going on that you're not seeing, the other person seems to be detoxing. They got the devil reversed. So they seem to be detoxing from something. I'm getting detox like probably from a chemical like drug or alcohol. Some people it's food. So if it's a food thing, they might be like losing weight or something, or they have to change like how much sugar they contain. Some of them are detoxing from even caffeine. I feel like it's a detox in some sense. There's a lot of different ways addictions can happen. They're just telling me it's a detox one way or another. Somebody has identified that they are too involved in something. I feel for the most of them it's a substance, but it could offshoot in other ways. And they're detoxing from it. They're abstaining from the situation that's causing them to be a bit out of control or causing problems in their life. All right, but you don't see this. They're not talking about this. It's a very private thing for them, and I almost feel like there's a little bit of embarrassment, whether you know or not that they're a little out of control with that, or it's going on, is up for debate. But they don't want you to know that it's out of control, or that they're starting to realize it's starting to get out of control at the very least. So they're trying to detox on their own, and they're trying to handle it on their own. But I feel like this might be causing some issues. I feel like this person might be cranky or having some weird personality moments, and you might be looking at them like, what is your issue? Having no idea. They also have the Ace of Wands after the detox, which means things are going better for them. This is a good move for them. See, this is good that they're detoxing and they're going in a better direction. I feel like during the detox, though, and this whole changeover, it's emotionally, like, it could be throwing their emotions off, it could be throwing off their hormonal imbalance, and they might be acting a little wonky. And I feel like that might be just like, I don't feel like you're getting it. I don't feel like you're understanding why they're acting weird, and you're just like, it's kind of like they're saying things that are kind of hurting your feelings, or they're saying careless things, maybe some crass things, and they're not realizing what they're doing. Like, they're not realizing how it's coming off, I should say. And I feel like it's having a negative effect on you. But if you knew what was going on and what they were dealing with and how they were feeling, I feel like that would change everything for you. But they're not telling you that. So you don't see that happening. You don't realize that's happening. So you don't have that advantage of perspective that you really do need that they're not giving you. Hopefully, maybe this reading will give you that advantage of perspective. Now, going into this is very interesting because you're very hopeful with this person. And I'm almost thinking, in some instances, you might be thinking there's a substance abuse anyway, and you would kind of wish that they'd back off from it. That's weird. You got hope, and you got the Five of Cups. You're realizing something's not right, but you're hopeful that it's going to work out. Yeah, you got the Five of Cups here. You're not seeing it work out. These people, whoever this person is, they're not sharing what they're doing. I feel like they don't want to admit that there really is a problem. And it's weird because it seems like they're admitting it to themselves, but they don't want to admit it to anyone else. They don't want to push forward to you that, there's a problem. You're right. They don't want to tell you that. Because this whole situation, you're sticking right with it. What do we now? This came right off the table, which is interesting because I've noticed sometimes images and messages have a fun way of coming across. You're holding on. You're trying to hold on, but you're not seeing this. You're not seeing the improvement here. You're not seeing the improvement. You don't realize that this person is actually. I feel like they're actually taking some of your advice. But they're not telling you. I feel like they're keeping it a secret. I don't understand why they're not communicating with you. They're not, though. And I partly wonder if they're afraid that they're not going to be able to actually do it, and they want to be able to just walk away from it without dealing with it. If they can't do it, then they don't want somebody else to force them to do it. If they get so far and they want to stop, they want to have that ability to stop. It's a control thing, definitely, clearly. But something's up with this, because they're not communicating, but I feel like you're supportive of this person. So it's a little, I feel like they're having a hard time. I feel like there's a lot of embarrassment. They don't even want to admit that there's a problem. I feel like that's a big piece. They don't even want to admit it. But they seem to be at a point where they have to admit it to themselves, or they at least have gotten that far, and they are detoxing from it. And they've got a great new start. They've got the Ace of Wands, so they are going in a good direction, and this is somebody who's very important to you, but they're not communicating. I feel like it's an embarrassment thing on their side. This is a big conflict for you, because you're thinking this is getting worse and it's not getting better, and you don't think they're listening to you. You don't think they're listening to you at all. And it's very aggravating, because you're like, there's a problem here, and you're constantly trying to tell them, there is a problem here. Oddly enough, they are listening. They're just not telling you what they're doing to fix it. And you're thinking it's just going to get worse. You're thinking it's just that they're treating it like, oh, it's fine for now. And you're like, it's not fine for now. It's not. It's going to come back, and it's going to be worse the next time. And you're just waiting, because you're waiting it out. Because you're like, you know what? It's going to pop up again. This issue, this abuse, this detox they need to go through. Whatever they're detoxing from, you're not realizing you're detoxing. And you're just thinking it's going to come back again. And it's going to be worse. So you're upset, and you're preparing for the next time you're going to have to deal with this. Meanwhile, they're detoxing from it and moving on from it, or trying to. And they really should communicate this with you. It'd make it better for both of you, but there's a stubborn feel here, no, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. No. That being said, you have the Nine of Cups here. In the future, because you're feeling like this is just a time bomb waiting to go off. And you're looking and you're seeing the other person is doing well. And I feel like this is a little bit more aggravating, only because you're like, look how good things are. Look how good things are, and you're not listening to me. And you're going to screw it up again because you're out of control. Because they're not telling you that they're detoxing. So you're looking at this in the sense of yeah, things are good now, and they should stay that way, but not the way you're going, they're not gonna. You have this very strong mindset about how you feel and what you're seeing, but they're not. It's just, I feel like the energy seems to be amping up here, and it's getting more and more angry. They're not on a bad track. They're just not communicating, and that's the problem. you're very upset because you want to fix this, and you're worried. You care about this person, and you're very unhappy that they're not taking you seriously. That's how you're perceiving it. In truth, they are paying attention to what you're saying. Your words are having an effect. The problem is they're not telling you. There's like a pride thing here. There's an embarrassment thing here. They're trying to just fix it and just let it dissipate like it never happened. Although I really do feel like them talking would do better for both of you, but I don't feel like that's even an option. I don't feel like they're even open to that. Whoever this person is, be it family or somebody who's very close to you that means a lot to you. Okay, now you're seeing things go well. You're surviving through it. It's a ironic thing to be in a position where things are actually going well and you're actually upset about that. But it's because they're not communicating with you. So you're getting defensive. You're getting ready for the fight, and you're getting very defensive, and you're getting ready to like pick up the pieces. They are still detoxing, and I feel like let's see, because you have a card that's face down on yours. So you hit this part where you're getting very defensive, and you're just getting ready, and you're watching, and you're noticing this situation is still good, but you're on the defensive, and you're ready to pick up the pieces. You're waiting for this whatever they're detoxing from. You're waiting for that to rear its ugly head, where you have to step in and fix the situation or help or calm things down. Whatever you have to do normally, you're ready for that. You're standing there ready to handle that. Somewhere during this spot where things are going well, and you're on the defensive, you're ready, you're like, all right, well, I got to keep my eyes open because you're going to need help again, because clearly you're not listening to me, and I don't want you to really end up in trouble or somebody else end up in trouble because you're not paying attention or doing what you should be. At some point, because this is face down, it's like it clicks in. You got the definitely yes. Like you're starting to realize, wait a minute. Like, I feel like you're watching the situation, and like it's all of a sudden clicking in. You're like, whatever the substance is, or whatever the situation is that this person is overdoing, that they're detoxing from, you're starting to realize that they're not participating in that anymore. Like, all of a sudden, you start to notice, like, just for example, like if it was alcohol. On the weekend, you're noticing they're drinking soda. And they're staying away from certain things where it seems like that drinking is the main issue. Like, that's what everybody's doing. And they seem to be, all of a sudden you're realizing, wait a minute. You're noticing, like, or if it was a drug thing, you're noticing, like, the people or the situation, like, if it's certain people or if it's certain paraphernalia they use with it, you're noticing that's not around. And I feel like you click in to realize what's actually happening. You're realizing at this point, like, it seems like it just, like, you start to really just zone in and realize, they are taking your words to heart, and they are paying attention, and they are taking your advice, and they're stepping away from it. I feel like at this point you might have a little more insight in the sense of, like, you might get it, like, that there's a little bit of a pride thing there, and that this person wants to believe that they can control it. But you're seeing this, and you're looking, and you're like, you know what? They're doing good. And that's all I want. That's all I want. So instead of, I feel like you switch from being upset to like you go into a different mode where you're gonna support this change. And you're realizing that they are trying to be that there's a level of pride here. You're aware of that. So you're trying to help without making it an issue. So I just feel like you're moving right into a supportive position. You're like I feel like you change relatively quick, which is strange because it's not really a Capricorn thing. But I feel like there's like a heart snap here where you're just like, you know what, this is going well, and I'm just gonna support it because you realize what they're doing, and you just like you have this heart snap. I don't know how to explain it. Like all of a sudden, you change direction really quick. But the reason you're changing is because it's like it's going well, and you're just like, that's all I've been wanting. In truth, that's all you've been wanting anyway, so you're still in the same mode of what you want. It's just now that you're seeing that it's actually this person is taking care of themselves and detoxing, you're in direct support of it, and if they don't want to talk about it, they may want to talk about it, but Like if it's, for example, the drinking thing, you don't offer them alcohol, or you make sure that people who would, you kind of like steer them away, and you make sure there's other things like juice or things like that they can drink, or things that they don't have to feel, narrowed in, and you try to make sure, like you'll also, like if it's alcohol, for example, and you might be fine with alcohol, but you realize they're trying to stay away, maybe you'll stay away from it too, just to support them. Like you're doing supportive actions. I feel like it's a quick snap, like a heart snap, especially with Capricorn, because they don't usually change directions easily. Like it takes a bit for them to work it out, but because of the situation and what you're seeing and the outcome you want, and you're still in that same mode, this is what you wanted anyway, you're right on board. You're just like, you're just very much in support of this person once you see what's happening. But I feel like you're keeping it to yourself. Like you get what they're doing, but you're also there's a bit of pride with that, and you're just like, you know what, if that's what it takes, then fine, I don't care. You don't have to tell me what you're doing, as long as you're doing it, and as long as I can see some positive result here, I'm on board. I'm on board. Your final card here, 10 of Cups. Once you realize that they are detoxing, you're much, much happier. And so I feel like you're both getting along a lot better. It seems like it's unspoken, but you both seem to be understanding. Like I feel like they realize that you caught on, and you're being very supportive, and I feel like they're very happy that you're not making them talk about it, but you're obviously showing support. So there's a lot of, I feel like you're both getting along very well at this point. In the beginning, you were upset because, and then for most of this, I feel like you're upset because you don't know what's going on, and you're looking at this person like, this is a situation that needs to be addressed. It's going to get worse. And you're very upset about that because you care about them, and you can see them headed towards this brick wall, and to you, you're watching them run faster and faster towards this brick wall. Meanwhile, on the quiet side, they were actually slowing down and they're detoxing. Once you realize what they're doing, heart snap. Like, it's a heart snap. Quick. You just, like, I'll support this. Because you really, like, I don't care if I'm just imagining it or not, it looks like it's going well, I'm supporting this. Supporting the abstaining from whatever the situation is. I realize that, to me, it looks like they're detoxing, and I feel like your first initial reaction is it looks like they're detoxing. But you're a little hesitant, you're a little questioning of it, but you're like, I don't care if it's true or not, I'm still supporting it. I'm still supporting it. Whether it's true or not, I'm still supporting it, as if it's actually happening. It is happening, but it's a quick thought, like you're like, maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see, still supporting it, I don't care. I'm going to do my best to make this work out. And things work out, which is this is a great way for this to go at this point. So I feel like the other person's happy that you're not making them talk about it, you're supportive. Best case scenario, it seems, at this point. Alright, I'm going to stop yammering on about it. I think we're good. Alright, I think that's pretty good. Considering the situation, I feel like the ending, I know you're going through some emotional issues because of how you're viewing it for a very good reason, but I feel like you're going to look at this as the end result is what you want. That end result is most important thing to you, so I feel like this is a good thing. I feel like this is a really good outcome for you, so excellent. Alright. I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.